making a very quick biryani just because I'm way too lazy to go to the store, buy the stuff, and eat it. Plus, usually biryani comes like servings for 4 people, and I'm just gonna make my own. As you can see, I'm already boiling 2 eggs, and I'm boiling some water for quinoa. I don't have rice at home either. So this is totally winging making biryani because I just don't have all of the ingredients. But a lot of people get hung up by not making stuff just because they don't have every single thing. With cooking, you can substitute stuff, make with the stuff that you have at home, and then more and more, when you get comfortable in making food, you'll know what exactly to substitute and what you like instead of what's actually in restaurants. So I'm boiling quinoa again. I'm actually adding some chicken broth to it just because I like the flavor, and it does have like celery salt in it and carrot flavors and things like that. So I'm gonna be boiling the quinoa with that, and then I'm gonna marinate the shrimp and then fry that, and then combine all the ingredients together. So I don't have every single ingredient to make a chicken biryani, but I do have access to, in Northern California, there's tons of Indian, South Asian food stores that you can go buy all of these things from, but I just haven't. And I'm just gonna use the stuff that's in my pantry. So I have turmeric always. I do have red chili powder all the time. And whenever we go to Sri Lanka or somebody comes from Sri Lanka, I get stuff like curry spices and stuff like that. So I'm just going to substitute those things. You guys can get biryani mixes and then use those things instead to add the flavorings, but I'm just going to use what's at home. So you can see, I'm just going to mix everything in already deveined shrimp. If you guys don't like spicy stuff, hold the red chili or add very little of it. We do tend to eat spicy food, so this stuff obviously might not be for you. The thing that I don't have at home that I just found out is ginger. I usually don't keep tons of it at home, so what I do keep is the dry ginger powder. That works fine as well. Fresh ingredients obviously make for better food, but sometimes if I'm not using ginger all that much, I'm not going to be buying it consistently. Yeah. And then I love this stuff. This is garlic salt, so I use that on almost everything just because I like garlic. And then you're just going to mix everything up. You want to get the shrimp nicely coated, just because you want all of that flavor in every single bite. I get started frying the shrimp. I already started heating up the stove. I love cooking with coconut oil, so that's what I'm going to be using. And we cook with a lot of coconut oil and use a lot of coconut milk. And so it's really good for you. A lot of MCTs. So about a teaspoon of coconut oil is what I'm going to be using. And then I found some bay leaves, so I'm going to be putting this into the quinoa. So that's going to flavor that up as well. And I do have already seeded cloves, so I'm going to put very little of this stuff. So if you have cloves, actually put the entire clove in. If not, you can take out the external piece and then just put in that. And then this is cloves and cardamoms, so put those things in there. I think I have cinnamon, but I have cinnamon powder. I don't actually have the actual, like the long cinnamon. So I'm just gonna skip that step. Nobody needs to know. Okay, so this thing is pretty hot. So you turn that down, and then I like to have my shrimp pretty crispy. So that's why I usually have this oil hot. And coconut oil can take heat. Avocado oil is better. Obviously it has a higher smoky point, but I usually cook with coconut oil, so that's what I have today. Don't overcrowd the pan. Just keep it in one layer. And you can cook this in 2 batches if you wish to, so everything gets a really nice coating. Covered the quinoa because it's in the second part of its cooking process. Turn off the eggs, and I'm just gonna turn over this shrimp. Be aware, this is very fragrant, so blah, 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 blah. You may be sneezing at this point, but this makes it nice and crispy, which I really like. And then you can transfer this to a plate. As you can see, I have already fried all of the shrimp. And I'm just going to be working on the other ingredients that usually go in a biryani. And I've already cut this stuff up just to save time, so you guys don't have to see me doing all the boring stuff. Onions. And I have about 2 teaspoons of coconut oil again in the pan. Sorry, I have the fan on just because it's super spicy, and I'm just going to start sneezing if I don't have it on. And I'm just going to add green chili. Again, this is super optional for you guys, just because it's spicy. I don't like to bite into them, that's why I keep them whole, and I just give it to my husband. And then I'm just going to add garlic as well. The cilantro I am going to keep for later as more of a garnish. I'm just going to let this fry up. So my onions and garlic and the green chili is frying up. I'm just going to add the leftover chili garlic cashews that I have. I love cashews, and I thought I had a lot more, but I had like a couple left. So with the chili that's in there, I'm just going to add the whole thing. Usually I get this from Trader Joe's. I'm just going to combine that, and that's going to go on top of the biryani as a topping. This is where I cheat, and I'm actually going to be making the sauce for the biryani in a very, very short format. This is Rouse. I love their tomato sauce. This is the marinara that I have, just because that's the only thing I could find in Costco. So this is going to be the base of my sauce, just because I'm too lazy to make a whole sauce from scratch. And I'm going to combine coconut milk to it, so the curry is going to have like a tomato coconut gravy broth. And then I'm going to combine all of the shrimp into that, combine it with the quinoa, and then add all of the toppings. And that's my fake biryani, which will totally satisfy my craving. Add in coconut milk, more of the fat than the actual creamy part of it, just because I want it to be very, very thick. I'm just going to add a little bit more turmeric. just to get like that curry flavor. And you guys can add a little bit more of the chili if you have it. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of cinnamon just because I didn't get that flavor in. So I'm just going to try to lace it into the sauce itself. And you guys can taste it and see if this is something that you guys like. And you can flavor it accordingly. If you like it a little bit more spicier, you could do that. If you don't like it spicy, just keep it the tomato and the coconut. And that's like a velvety, smooth curry. And I'm just gonna add in all of the spicy shrimp. That's crispy, so I'm just gonna let that cook in there. Just gonna put the whole thing in. You guys can see that the shrimp has cooked a little bit more in the tomato coconut gravy that we just made. So this by itself is so good with just like tandoori garlic naans, or just garlic naan, and you can just dip it in and have that, and have it just like a curry with just white rice. But what I'm going to do, because this is a biryani, and it literally, to me at least, it means that you make a curry with either chicken or lamb or shrimp, some sort of protein, and then you lace in all of the rice. And today, since I don't have rice, I am going to be adding quinoa, and this is cooked, like I was telling you, with chicken broth, water, and bay leaves. Just going to combine this. And usually what you do is just like lasagna, you would layer this in. Like you would have a layer of rice, and then you would have a layer of the protein with the curry, and then another layer of rice. I just don't have time, and I'm super hungry, so I'm just going to add the rice on top. I'm just going to mix all of it. So, and not too much, because you just want it to be mixed ever so lightly. And then what I'm going to do is, remember the toppings we made? So we're just going to lace in the toppings. I don't know why I keep saying lace, but just put the toppings on. And then I'm just going to sprinkle all of this cilantro. I wish I had mint, because I would have totally put mint on it as well. The boiled eggs that we had, so I'm just going to add that on top. And I usually serve it with raita. I don't have that either. So, I do have tzatziki. Do have tzatziki lying around. So this stuff already has so much of things. Like, it's made with Greek yogurt, cucumber, and dill. So, I mean, pretty darn close to raita. And I'm just gonna, it's pretty thick, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to thin it out and add a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice. That's all I have on hand, so I'm just gonna mix that. And the reason I love eating raita with the biryani is because it's so cooling and it's very creamy. And it combines very well with the spicy biryani. So to me, those two are a must. This thing is so good. Craving gone. Probably gonna be eating this whole thing for like the next 2 days.